Hello, everybody, and it's great to see you all. This is Getting Inside the Right Male Mind with Benjamin and Lisa Shield. I am so excited to be here because our topic today is amazing. This man is the master at writing online dating profiles. I couldn't imagine that there's anyone better than him. He writes profiles that make my clients cry when they get them and make the men cry when they read them. It's really extraordinary. And Benjamin is going to reveal some of his secrets today on profile writing. So, babe, hi.
Well, good. The idea of a profile isn't just to attract people, but it's also to filter people out, because you don't want to be attracting the wrong people who may have different values or different goals in their lives. So, in some ways, it's about absolutely telling who you are, but also who you're not, and what you want, and also what you don't want. Knowing that you may be filtering out some wonderful, wonderful people, but if they have a deal breaker, then it may not show up, for the first date or the first 3 dates or the first 5 dates, but it will show up, and it will be like a time bomb.
Honey, let me ask you, you said a lot of these women feel like they're having so much trouble attracting anybody, right, with their profile. And then to hear you say you want to turn off, more people than you want to filter them out. If I were not getting much response on my profile to begin with, I would be so scared because I would just want to get anybody. Can you speak to that?
Well, my feeling is a profile is written so well, it's going to attract people, and it's going to attract the right people. So people that, women that may not be getting a really good response, a lot of responses to their profile, it may be the profile itself rather than them. And so it's a question of how do we craft the profile to reflect them and to really touch the hearts of those men reading it.
Yeah. And so when it comes to these profiles, I think a lot of women are frustrated because they aren't writers. They're not professional writers, and they don't know how to write a good profile. They don't even know what to put in a profile, right? Like, what do I put in? What do I not put in? So can you address that?
Well, I think what I'll do is read a sample profile and then go through step by step the order that would be good to have, those things to include, the order to include them, but also those things not to include.
That sounds great.
All right. In fact,
go for it.
In this hour, I'm going to read 2 profiles. I'm going to read a sample profile that I would write for the women in Lisa's program. But I'm going to read the one I wrote almost 20 years ago. And I'm not sure that there are a couple of things I would change, but probably 90% of it is something I would write today. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a sign of a good profile. So first I'm going to read a sample profile that I wrote for one of the women.
Well, let me pause you for a second. It's actually a compilation of pieces from several different profiles, right? It's not one person's profile.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I'm looking for my future partner, my soulmate, someone to feel safe and secure with and have a loving, intimate relationship. Do I have your attention? You certainly have mine. Let's get to know each other. To know me is to know that I'm romantic, warm-hearted, playful, passionate, intelligent, funny, a lifelong learner, confident, easy on the eyes, and classy. I love to laugh, and I don't take myself too seriously. I'm generous with the space I hold for others. I'm always thinking of what I can do to make another person's life better. I practice gratitude, forgiveness, compassion, and improving the world as much as I can.
Beautiful.
I luxuriate in sharing quiet moments together, new experiences and adventures, the soft feeling of a cashmere sweater, cuddling and hugging, the warmth of the sun on my face, hearing people's stories, holding hands and walking on the beach, and the belief in the kind of love that lasts forever.
Oh, wow.
What my life is missing is you. I look forward to us finding each other and to our exciting new chapter ahead. We will have great fun and enjoy each other's company, whether we are out on a walk, watching a great movie, sharing a wonderful dinner, or traveling the world. Let's create beautiful memories together. I'm charmed by an intelligent man with a beautiful mind and old-fashioned manners. You will be my hero if you are kind, emotionally available, passionate, spiritual, financially stable, possess self-awareness, and have a generosity of spirit. You are a man who has space for me in his heart and in his arms. I will admire that you go after your goals and find space to balance relationship, play, family, and personal time. You know how to give and receive love, and you value commitment. You are motivated to stay healthy and fit so we can spend many happy quality years together. I want to learn more about you and from you as we share our hearts and life experiences, growing together in kindness and intimacy each day. I'll take pleasure in how we make each other feel so loved, supported, adored, and adored in every way. Our life together will be joyous, deep, drama-free, sweet, fun, romantic, adventurous, tender, playful, and loving. Will you join me? Together, we will be guardians of each other's souls. We will feel safe and protected and help each other to be the best that we can be on this planet. I will be your biggest supporter, and I will always have your back. We will deeply care for each other, treat each other as equals, learn from each other, and love each other unconditionally. We will keep things fun and fill our little world with big dreams and lots of laughter. If this is your dream as much as mine, let's dream this together.
Wow. Wow. You
Good.
can hardly read that without, whoa.
Well, I wrote it and I tear up.
Mhm.
So, let me go through the process and the order
Okay.
and why I chose to
Beautiful.
include things.
Go for it. That's great.
I think the opening lines are very important, and so catching someone's attention, but it doesn't have to be something silly or wacky or out there. It could be very direct to connect to someone's attention. So it's also important to say exactly what you're looking for. In this first line, I wrote, "I'm looking for my future partner, my soulmate, someone to feel safe and secure with and have a loving, intimate relationship." There are women that absolutely want to be married. They want a husband. So for those women, they may say, "I'm looking for my future husband, my soulmate, someone to feel safe and secure with."
So a lot of women would be so afraid if they put that in, it's going to turn off so many guys. They would be like so worried to put the word husband there. Can you talk about that?
Well, the goal of the profile is to find the guardian of your soul. And you're looking for a man who's looking for the same thing, who's looking for a guardian of their soul. And if marriage is absolutely important, or having children, family, we need to put that up front, because we don't want to attract someone who isn't looking on this for the same thing, isn't on the same page, or at least open to the possibility.
But honey, a lot of women listening would say, but everything I read says if I put husband there, it's going to scare off all these guys, because they're just going to think I want to get married right away and have babies, and they're concerned about just getting people to respond to their profile, and they're walking on eggshells when they write it, not to turn guys off. So what does that cost them? Right? Like, I get what you're saying. You want to reach for the guardian of your soul and believe that you can draw that man to you and not try to appeal to the lowest common denominator. But they're scared.
Well, you asked what it would cost them, and I would say what it doesn't cost them. And it doesn't cost them time. And many women who are in the dating world are feeling their biological clock. And they don't have time to waste. So if someone is even in their late 20s, by the time they court and meet different people, find the right person, they're in their early 30s. And if they want a couple kids, that's not too early to begin and to be really serious about what they want.
Well, so yeah, but they're afraid to put that out there. So here's what I'm saying. If they don't put it out there and have the courage to say, this is what I want, they're never going to get it. Right?
Exactly.
And so what's going to happen is it's not going to be in the profile, and the profile isn't going to attract what they want. It might not even attract what they don't want, right? Like, it's just not going to, that profile really has to ask for what you want. And some people's profiles are not getting response because they're not asking for what they want. And they don't believe that they can have it. So the profile has to be written with belief and integrity, right? That you can have this, and you have to have the courage to actually put it out there fearlessly and not pull back from that.
And we've known countless women that truly wanted to be married. They've gotten into relationships that have lasted 2 or 3 or 5 years, and the man is not ready to commit.
Mm-hmm.
And they may have wasted the best of their childbearing years. Mm-hmm. So yes, it takes courage. It takes belief. It takes faith. And it also takes a really well-written profile. Because if someone is able to get past that first line, because people really, the right man that you're looking for, if you're looking for family, if you're looking for a husband, marriage, family, following that, I'm looking for my future husband, my soulmate, someone to feel safe and secure with and have a loving, intimate relationship. So a man who is even on the fence, he may be thinking of marriage or not marriage, but he hasn't found the right woman. And clearly men want to get married because we just look around, if you look at all your, many of your friends and look at couples out there, people get married. They do. And we don't want to waste time. We don't want to be tethered down by attracting the wrong people, slowing our journey down.
But also that line is, what's beautiful about that line is that it's very inviting, right? You're not saying, I want this and this. And there's an energy to it. Right. There's a tone to it that makes it an invitation. And when many of you are writing your profiles, you're saying, you're up in your head and you're going, and I want this and I want that. And he's got to have this and he's got to have that. But that line sounds like an invitation.
Yeah. And that's an important part of a profile, that we include the reader. So I think in any writing, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, profiles, that the reader wants to be able to visualize the scenario. So if we can create a portrait of what a relationship with you would be like, I mean, that is so inviting, rather than saying, I like this kind of sushi, I like to dance in the kitchen, by myself or whatever. He wants to be able to see himself in that picture. So, and then I say, do I have, when I say I have these things, it doesn't mean that everyone should have something like this in their profile, but I write, do I have your attention? Which is kind of a wake up call. It's like, wow, okay. And then I say, well, you certainly have mine, meaning that she is inviting him in, that, because you're reading it, you have my attention. And so let's get to know each other. As Lisa says, it's an invitation.
You are so good at this. I'm serious. I'm so blown away. Oh my God. There's so much thought.
And then we want to describe ourselves, and we can have a list of adjectives, but it's important to elaborate on those adjectives. So to know me is to discover that I'm romantic, because men want romance, warm-hearted. They want kindness. In fact, the kindness is probably at the top of the list. Playfulness, because relationships, if they're going to last, need to be playful, fun, passionate, intelligent. We want to attract our greatest teacher, and we also want someone who will learn from us as well. Funny, a lifelong learner, meaning that they're constantly growing, self-development, intellect, confident. And I put easy on the eyes because it's so, at least when I was dating, 2 decades ago, everyone says, attractive, 23-year-old, ... But easy on the eyes means that you're attractive, but you're really holding back on your beauty, on describing your beauty. And then I put classy, because a man wants to picture a woman on his arm at an office meeting, a conference, when they visit friends. And he wants someone he can be proud of and who's classy. But also all these things like passionate, playful, romantic, warm-hearted. But classy is really
That's
good.
a good one.
That stands out.
Ladies, hear that. Classy.
So we could then, elaborate on some of these things, why, I'm playful, why I'm warm-hearted, things I do for other people, the way I see the world. And then something we want to put in things that are true and that what men want to hear, because I think a man is afraid that getting married, something is going to be taken away from him. And so particularly his space, he won't be able to have the quiet time, the time to watch football games, or sports on Sundays or whatever it is. And so reassuring, it's always good to take care of any objections early on so that by the time someone reads it, they no longer have objections. So I write, I'm generous with the space I hold for others. And then I say, I'm always thinking of what I can do to make another person's life better. So you're giving him the sense that his world will expand with you, not contract. I think what prevents men from wanting to get married is that they feel that their life is going to contract. It's going to be less than. They're going to have to compromise. So if they feel that not only can I be who I am, but someone is going to support and, for me, how I am and not try to change me.
Whoa. You're just it's so important that everybody really hears the depth of what you're saying, because in every line, you're speaking to the deep psychology of the man who's reading this thing. I mean, you really know, oh my God, men, you are the most heartfelt, beautiful man I've ever met in my life. And you're speaking from your own heart and the deepest truth of what I think all men really want, and with love, not up here, but really at the heart level, what men are most desiring. And it's all right in that profile, woven into every line.
And then we want someone who is a beautiful person. So I say, I'm always thinking of what I can do to make another person's life better. I practice gratitude, forgiveness, compassion, and improving the world as much as I can. And I think many men in marriages can become resentful if their partner, if they're working two jobs, or if they're under a great deal of pressure, they're always worried about being fired, laid off, some new guy coming up the ranks, taking their place. And it's, for men, it's going out into battle. We're not putting on loincloths and carrying spears, but we may as well be, because it is a battle. And we're competing in the world to provide for our loved ones. And so if a woman says, I live in gratitude, he knows that what he does is going to be appreciated. And I think so many men don't feel the appreciation. And that's when they begin to go outside the confines of the relationship to seek it elsewhere. And that's the beginning of the end.
Right.
Yeah.
They're giving so much.
Yeah.
And it's not being appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so forgiveness, because I think all of us, men and women, have experienced saying the wrong thing at the wrong time or doing the wrong thing, whether it was consciously or unconsciously. And knowing that there's forgiveness and it's not this thing that is going to be haunting them for the next 35 years. So just knowing that there can be a clean slate, a blank page, that things just happen and they're forgiven and they're let go of. Compassion, meaning not just compassion for their partner, but compassion for themselves, because I think everything begins with self-love. And a man doesn't want to be with a woman who doesn't love themselves.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So compassion for themselves, compassion for their partner, and calm meaning with. So with passion, with passion for themselves and for the other. And improving the world as much as I can. We all want to be with someone who thinks of leaving a situation better than when they entered it, whether it's a conversation or their lives, that they are doing something and they have both feet in the world. Yeah. And then we want to talk about things that we're passionate about, and we want to elicit all the senses to the reader. So I luxuriate in sharing quiet moments together, meaning that, a guy doesn't have to worry about sitting on the couch, just, being quiet as he would be as a bachelor. And a woman would luxuriate in that time together.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
And I don't think many women can begin to grasp how much space men really need and how much solitude, and that space and solitude may be zoning out in front of the television, watching a football game and a stupid ball being sorry, I think it's stupid, but a stupid ball that slept, but a stupid ball being thrown around, back and forth, and men tumbling on top of each other,
I mean, men sometimes just need to watch a rerun of two Yugoslavian tennis players, in a 1991 playoff or whenever. If Yugoslavia was still Yugoslavia then, but we just like to watch the rhythmicity. It's the way our brain goes. And also there are very few things that a man could do that's heroic in the year 2021, and sometimes watching a game and seeing heroes and being, just feeling that excitement of something, that the impossible becoming possible.
Yeah, like a guy getting clobbered and, and going through that and then getting up and getting back out there.
Someone coming back, from a huge deficit in a Super Bowl game and, winning. And, men need to feel heroics, whether they've experienced internally themselves from things they do, or just by absorbing what they're watching on TV. So new experiences and adventures, that they're open to new things. They're not just saying, I only like going to, visit my parents on the holidays, or just new experiences, and just knowing that they're not set in their ways, particularly if someone has, in their late 30s and beyond into their, 90s, that we can get more and more set in our ways. Right. So just saying that we're open to new experiences and adventures. And then really eliciting sensuous images, like the soft feeling of a cashmere sweater. And even a man has put on, many men have put on soft sweaters, or, a soft t-shirt or something, and just knowing how that can feel. So it's drawing them in, cuddling and hugging, the warmth of the sun on my face, and knowing that this says that a woman is sensuous. Mm-hmm. She lives her life in a slow way. The feeling of a soft cashmere sweater, mm-hmm. The warmth, the sun. These are not people that are rushing around, right. And missing these experiences. So they're appreciating every sensuous moment. Hearing people's stories, meaning that they're open to his stories and to family stories, and just open, enjoying people. Holding hands and walking on the beach, which is another sensuous, slow, unrushed experience together. And the belief in the kind of love that lasts forever. And I think any man, if they're thinking of getting married, they want the belief in the kind of love that lasts forever, because it's saying it's not conditional. That, if I screw up, if I lose my job, for the time being, I'm unemployed, or whatever it may be, that love will exist and last forever, that it's not conditional. So, and then really inviting the person in, and I say, what my life is missing is you. Meaning that she has made space in her life, because so many profiles are so filled with women saying, then after my tennis lesson, I've got my ukulele class, and then I've got my, martial arts, and then I've got this and that. And a man cannot picture himself in that woman's life.
Explain more about that.
Well, a lot of women in their profiles want to come across as competent, proficient, having a full life, being autonomous. And so they'll list all the things that they do during the day. I get up, I do yoga, I meditate, and then I do this, and then I do that. And a man's reading this and say, where do I fit in? Or if I fit in, do I have to live someone else's dream? Which is anyone's, nightmare.
Yeah, I think that's really important what Benjamin's saying, because what I hear, babe, is that we're trying to seem competent, like we've got a great life, and we're selling our package. But how that comes across to a man is, this woman's got so much going on, and yeah, I mean, where do I fit in? But not even just fit in space wise, but like, what do I have to offer her? She's got everything, and it's all of her time is filled up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A man wants to come in and not rescue a woman, because a man doesn't want to rescue a woman. If he's looking for a good relationship, A man wants to feel that he can add to a woman's life, that they can create a life together.
Mm-hmm.
And if things look like they're just written in stone in a woman's life, then I do this and then I do this, and I'd never miss my pickleball game on, 2 nights a week. And, all of that, he's just saying,
Yeah.
wow, where are we going to have this time together? So, yeah. So what my life is missing is you. And then invitation. I look forward to us finding each other and to our exciting new chapter ahead. So it's really a promise that we're going to have this exciting new chapter ahead. And then what that chapter will be like.
Mm-hmm.
And we will have great fun and enjoy each other's company, whether we're out on a walk, enjoying watching a great movie, sharing a wonderful dinner, or traveling the world. Let's create beautiful memories together. And so this is a woman who is happy just going for a walk. She doesn't have to be wined and dined, but she said, I appreciate a good dinner. It would be wonderful to travel the world. And, just watching a movie together or having, sharing a wonderful dinner or going for a walk, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And then beginning to talk about the type of man she's looking for. And so I'm charmed by an intelligent man with a beautiful mind and old-fashioned manners. And so that's going to filter some people in and maybe filter some people out, because most women really want old-fashioned manners. They would like a man to pay for coffee and dinner.
Right.
They would like a man to walk around the car and open up the car door and hold his hand out. So as she gets out of the car, she would like to be introduced to a group of people that he's talking to. Old-fashioned manners.
Wow.
And so she's already saying she wants someone who is bright. I'm charmed by an intelligent man with a beautiful mind, meaning that intelligence can take all kinds of forms. Someone doesn't have to finish high school and they could have an intelligent mind. They could be an intelligent man with a beautiful mind. So it can come in unexpected ways. And then my sense is this is a key line. You will be my hero, because men want to be a woman's hero. They want to rise to the occasion, do the hero's journey. If we look at 100% of the movies, almost, let's just say the vast majority, it's about a man helping a woman. Whether it's Die Hard, with Bruce Willis, or whether it's Jane Austen, or with strong women. If we look at the hero's journey it usually ends with a man being with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so he wants to be a hero. So you will be my hero if you are kind, emotionally available, meaning good communications, in touch with his own feelings, able to share them, able to deal with them, not hiding things from himself or hiding things from his partner. Passionate, because women as well as men want passion,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want the passion to subside. We've been together almost 2 decades, and it keeps growing.
Thank you.
Spiritual,
Uh-huh.
Financially stable. And I put that because it's important. I think that a woman doesn't, it's a terrible expression, but doesn't want to be anyone's nurse or purse. they don't want to go into a long-term relationship with a man who is not financially stable or irresponsible with money, even if they make a lot of money, if they're irresponsible with it.
Right.
So financially stable, possess self-awareness, and have a generosity of spirit. And by generosity of spirit, it's more than just financial, but it includes financial. You know, people want to be honored on their birthdays. They want to be surprised with trips. They want to know that a man is thinking about them and will surprise them with flowers occasionally, um, with kind words. Um, you know, a generosity of spirit includes that woman's love language, whether it's words of affection, whether it's acts of service, whatever it may be, but it's that generosity of spirit that he's looking to make her happy. So then it begins to compliment the man. And so a man could read this and say, yeah, this is me. You are a man who has space for me in his heart and in his arms. I will admire that you go after your goals and find space to balance relationship, play, family, and personal time. You know how to give and receive love, and you value commitment. You are motivated to stay healthy and fit so we can spend many happy quality years together. So what she's saying is she's directly complimenting the reader and saying, you are a man who, and the man's, you know, realizes he would be appreciated for all these things, for going after his goals and balancing all the things that a man has to balance in his life: relationship, play, family, personal time, all of that. And also, this talks about monogamy. You know how to give and receive love, and you value commitment. And then it's important that a man, if a woman stays fit, then a man does also. It's part of respect, but it's also, you know, if two people want to have good years together and travel into their, you know, elder years, they have to be healthy. And so if a guy is just, you know, hasn't done any exercise, you know, and just, you know, has let himself go, if you extrapolate that 5 or 10 or 15 years from now, it's not going to look pretty. So, you know, staying fit and healthy is great. And then again, an invitation. I want to learn more about you, but also and from you, because men want to be teachers. As we share our hearts and life experiences, growing together in kindness. So this is a man is already visualizing this relationship. What she's saying is, this is what our relationship is going to be like. So after she talks about herself and her passions, and the man that she's looking for, it's important to offer what the relationship is going to look like and what she can offer the man. Because so often a woman's profile will say, I want this, 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 and this. Mm-hmm. And there's not a word of what she can offer the man. So a guy reading it is just going to see his life narrow. Like, mm-hmm. Oh my God, she wants this, this, this. What am I going to get out of it?
Yeah.
I'll take pleasure in how we make each other feel so loved, supported, and adored in every way. You know, what she is offering him. Our life together, and this is the vision of the relationship, our life together will be joyous, deep, drama-free, sweet, fun, romantic, adventurous, tender, playful, and loving. And, you know, it's a lot of adjectives, but a man is going to like drink up each one. So it's yeah. You know, each one he reads is going to, so it's a vision of what the relationship will be like. And so few profiles include that. Mm-hmm. Will you join me? So again, an invitation. Yeah. So it's not like, will you fit into my life? You know, I'll make some closet room for you. Will you join me in this adventure, this new chapter? Mm-hmm. And then the last is, you know, I think what what we're looking for is a guardian of our souls, someone to protect us, to adore us, to love us unconditionally. So together, and I'm not saying I'm looking for the guardian of my soul. Together, we will be guardians of each other's souls. We will feel safe and protected to help each other be the best we can be on this planet. And men would love this. I will be your biggest supporter, and I will always have your back. I mean, that's what a man wants with a wife. We will deeply care for each other, treat each other as equals, which is important, learn from each other, and love each other unconditionally. And then ending, we will keep, and this is important to like end it in a positive way. We will keep things fun, because that's what people want in a relationship. They want, a lot of things, but everyone wants to have a relationship that's fun. We will keep things fun and fill our little world with big dreams.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. Because men, if they're in a job, there are good chances he has bigger dreams than that job. So allowing for the man saying, well, you're working for the county and it's a good paying job and you have benefits, don't leave that job. Here we're intimating that, we can allow for big dreams in our little world.
Well, and even the little world can be beautiful.
Absolutely.
It can be full of big dreams. It doesn't even have to be a big world.
Absolutely.
Together, if two people really love each other. I think about Roseanne, the TV show, and how much fun they had. They were laughing and they were always joking, even if they were struggling financially. There was love and there was humor.
And that's why I end this sentence with, and lots of laughter. I mean, it's a promise. Yeah. And it's a vision of what the relationship. And then the last sentence, if this is your dream, as much as it is mine, because a man reading this, if he's gotten to the end of this profile, it is his dream. He's saying, yeah. If it's not his dream, he would have stopped reading by the second paragraph. Let's dream this together. Again, an invitation.
Yeah. Wow. Whew. I think both of us are also tearing up because there's, a lot of our relationship as I'm listening to you talk, a lot of the things you're saying, I'm so grateful that I think I'm the partner to you that I would hear that you would be looking for just by what you said about, what a man really wants and how you're speaking to that need,
And you've helped me to become the man that I write about, that someone would be looking for. So you have supported that with your love and gratitude and forgiveness and all of that. All of that.
Much.
I think that if Lisa and I tried to remember a fight we had, it would be hard to remember because it just blows over. We're able to take into account the entirety of the relationship and also be measured that our words are meant to bring us closer together rather than farther apart.
Yeah. And we also just have so much experience saying things to each other and being fully received that we know that there's no, at this point, we don't fight at all, but there's nothing to resist. Yeah. We know I think that you could come in and tell me anything and I would listen to you and hear what you have to say. So yeah, it's a magical relationship. Honey, getting back to profiles, I'm curious about the length. Like many women who heard that profile would be like, Lord, nobody's going to sit and read that thing. Right? Like that's what's going on in a lot. I could never post. Like we get 3 lines. Do you have any?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, he's got a 300 character here version, ladies. So brace yourself. 296 to be, including spaces. All right, listen to what this man can do with 300 characters or less,
Including spaces.
Including spaces. Men need lots of spaces.
And our characters.
And our character. Very good. Okay, go for it.
So this can be used on the apps. And it's much the same thing, but in an abbreviated form. So looking for my future partner, my soulmate, to have a loving, intimate relationship. I'm romantic, warm-hearted, easygoing, intelligent, fit, artistic, funny, and easy on the eyes. You will be my hero if you are kind, secure, emotionally available, compassionate, playful, and financially stable. So that's under 300 characters.
Whoa.
And there have been some of your clients that have gotten back and saying that it's the best profile that they've read. And we said, oh, it's the long version. It's just, no, it was just on like Hinge.
That's true.
A woman will stand out not only for who she is, but how she's able to express who she is.
Well, and it is so important. It is so important to put yourself out there and not hold back and not be afraid to ask for what you want in an inviting and heartfelt way. You really have to think about it. If you don't put yourself out there and have the courage to do that, and let's say you are putting yourself out there and you're not getting any response, then get help with your profile. Have some men read it. I know that might be intimidating, but have some men read it who will give you real honest feedback about what they're seeing there. Not just say, oh, you're great and whatever, but a guy who you trust to just put it out there and tell you what's missing, right? But you've got to put yourself out there and trust and know that, yes, people are, what do I want to say? Men are reading these profiles. You better believe it and don't kid yourself. You want a man who's going to take the time to actually sit there and read it from start to finish. And you don't want to go out with somebody who wouldn't take the time to do that. You're looking for a real partner. And that, I remember when I read Benjamin's profile, I don't know if you brought your own, honey. Well, it may be a nice thing for you to read a little bit of it. We're getting on time here, but maybe you would read just the profile part of it.
Sure.
What you wrote as a man. This is the one that got my attention, ladies.
Well, I'll just read a portion of it. And I wrote this almost 20 years ago. Lisa and I have been together. In 2 months, it'll be 19 years. And which has just gone by in a blink of an eye. A blink of an eye.
Time flies.
Yeah.
When you're having fun.
And when I read this morning, there's not a lot that I would change. And my goal was, when I did this, I wrote a profile and I wrote it like everyone else would have written it. And I looked at it and I would be ashamed to have my friends or clients or family read it, because it just sounded like everyone else, like I'm just trying to throw this wide net to attract as many people as possible. And so I took it down and I spent a number of weeks rewriting it, at least 3 weeks. And I was seeing a therapist at the time. And I said, look, is there anything that I'm leaving out about myself, or what I want or what I don't want, or who I want or who I don't want? And I even went to a former therapist that I worked with years before, just saying, look, you know me, what am I leaving out? Because, I didn't fully trust myself that there's this like beautiful, idealized person out there with the exact sweater and body type and hair color and style and all of that I may have thought about was the idealized person when I was 14. But there may be a deal breaker. And I'm thinking, no, I don't want to lose her, even though I would know that there would be a deal breaker. Yeah. So the goal was really, with the initial profile, was to attract 98% of the people. And with the new profile that I wrote was to attract the 2% and filter out those that, wouldn't be a match. Yeah. So I wrote, and this is almost 20 years ago. So I realized that it is more important to receive one response from a deeply compatible person than to try to get many responses where we may be mismatched. I sincerely want you to know who I am. I'm an honest, down-to-earth, caring person and try to live my life with integrity and gratitude. I consider myself to be a loyal friend, playful, affectionate, sensual, and spiritual. I love to laugh and have a positive outlook on life. I work out regularly and staying in good shape is essential to me. I'm inspired and dedicated to what I do. I'm successful in my profession. I teach internationally and have co-authored several books. I love being with someone. I love going to plays, concerts, and movies. I love great restaurants that are comfortable and are quiet enough to have wonderful conversation. I enjoy hanging out, reading together, watching a video, going for walks. I also love romping with my dog, going for frozen yogurt, and connecting with all the senses. The person I'd like to meet. The person I would like to meet has a rich and fulfilling life already with the missing piece of relationship. Someone who has a profound desire to share in intimacy, deep honesty, and passionate heart-to-heart contact. The person that I would like to meet would possess an inner and outer beauty. I would like to meet a woman who has an old soul and a young heart. Someone who is intelligent, has diverse interests, is open-minded, and has a twisted sense of humor. Someone who has a sense of independence, playfulness, sensuality, and is not afraid to open her heart. A woman who is attentive to her spiritual health as she is to her physical health. A woman who, as I do, cherishes intimacy and cherishes alone time. The essential qualities I look for in a person, whether they're friends or lovers, are integrity, values, and attitude. But most of all, she must have a good and kind soul. I'm looking for a lover and best friend, growing together and experiencing life while we keep our own identity at the same time. And though it may be excluding some extraordinary persons, I would absolutely want someone with no children or as children that are grown. And this was written at an age that people could still have kids living in, children living in the house or older children that have come back from college. So, and I went on just in the interest of time to say how important my alone time is, that I would love to be with someone. And being a bachelor, I just cherish my alone time, and having a full practice where I might, be in my practice 60 hours a week. Having that time to decompress was really important. So I even suggested, some of the most successful relationships are non-traditional. And it could even mean being in separate houses and all that. Well, Lisa read it. And when we got together and after a year, we bought a house together. And after a year of meeting, we bought a house together. And we turned the garage, which was a guest house at the time, into my treatment room. I'm a manual therapist. And she put in a microwave, a cable television, a refrigerator, all these things that would be my man cave. And the fact that she was willing to do this for me, and I knew that I could have the space when I needed it. I didn't use the TV set once. I got rid of it, got rid of the microwave, got rid of the refrigerator, all of it unused. But the fact that she had that generosity of spirit meant the world to me.
Yeah, you can do anything you want, honey. Anything at all. I wanted to read a response that we just got 2 days ago from one of our clients in our 12-week emotionally naked dating coaching program. And this is what she writes. She said, I know you both hear this all the time, but I have never gotten responses like this before to my profiles. After I received Benjamin's draft, I tweaked it a little to suit my own voice, but I kept most of what Benjamin suggested and many of the keywords that he said men were attracted to. This gentleman's response was too long to copy and paste, so I'll share some excerpts. He has a tragic story of loss woven in there as well, and it brought tears to my eyes, but I'll spare you that part. This is a true testimony to Benjamin's skill and the results our collaboration can bring. Hello, my client's name. I must admit, a few months ago when I sent you a like, I had not taken the time to read your profile, but I read it today. I fell in love with the writer, with your inner thoughts. One of the parts I like best. To know me is to discover that I am romantic, warm, playful, passionate, intelligent, artistic, funny, a student of life, sensual, and authentic. I love to laugh, especially at myself. That is me exactly as my mother would describe me. This part got me as well. Together, we will be guardians of each other's souls. We help each other by living our best life together. I'll always be your biggest fan and supporter, and I'll have your back. This brought tears to my eyes. He goes on to explain some very sad tragedies in his life where he felt completely alone and unsupported. As I'm writing this to you, I am crying profusely. That is what I'm craving at this moment. You have my better half by my side, telling me it's all right. I am with you. I have your back. This part also won my heart. I'm charmed by an intelligent man with a beautiful mind and old-fashioned manners. You will be my hero if you are emotionally available, passionate, adventurous, stable, playful, self-aware, and have a generous spirit. I can continue writing, but perhaps we could meet for coffee and continue the conversation. Have a lovely weekend. I didn't understand how these special words are so powerful to men. I want you to both know how impactful your work is on this journey. While this lovely gentleman is not a match for me, he's much older, I was really struck by his response. I wrote back and thanked him for his beautiful words and gave him a very gentle, heartfelt rejection. Here's another brief note I got this morning. Hi, Terry. What a great profile. You obviously don't just speak with your camera. You also write well. How wonderful. Would love to talk further. I'm a bit smitten with your profile. Be well. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting us share our Sunday with you, and for Benjamin, for the opportunity to get inside the right male mind.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
You are the most extraordinary man I've ever known, and I'm so grateful to be able to share you with everybody. So thank you for doing this for me and for them. Have a beautiful Sunday, everybody.